Oh, Danny Mac, what a presence.
What's going on?
Joining me is Anthony at the top of Danny Mac's head.
In the top,
Yeah,
yes.
I can't wait to hear John pronounce some of these names.
I know it's going to be... Well, the two of them together, bro, come on.
What do you think about the Giants trade?
Really
Tell you
liked it.
what, mentioning the Giants, bro.
Yeah.
2 thumbs up from
Like,
me, man. You're talking about Waller,
yeah.
right?
You tell me that we're going to trade Kadarius Toney for Darren Waller. I'll say, okay, what crack was that person smoking? But that's ultimately what we got.
Is that where they got the pick from? It was the same third
Yeah.
rounder from
Toney trade.
You know what? That makes things look better because I'll tell you what, you guys look like you had your pants down after the fucking Darius Toney produced. You guys look like fools for that trade for a while. So at least now it balances back out again. But you gotta hope Waller stays healthy. When healthy, he's a fucking serious weapon.
Same thing with Toney. I mean, it was the old regime that picked him first overall. So they weren't a fan. He didn't fit into what they're doing.
Preposterous. Now okay. You know what? I call bullshit on that because he had his homeboy Isaiah Hodgins, right, and he benched Slayton all year long. Finally, Slayton plays at the end of the year out of health necessity, and he's fucking great. And they're like, "Oh, look at this guy. He's a genius." My man's doesn't know anything about pass catchers. Daboll can, say what you will about him, but it took him a long time to get Hodgins involved, and it took him even longer to get Slayton involved. And Slayton was on the team the entire time.
Only got on the team like in week 7, 8?
Right, but everybody was trying to fucking jerk off Daboll for he cherry picked him off the Bills practice squad because he knew him so well. Nonsense.
Wasn't much competition.
So for him to give away Kadarius Toney, and then for Slayton to be sitting on the team the entire time, and for that, I mean, to me, they seemed. The long and short of it is, he looked all wet until they turned that pick into Darren Waller. Now it balances out, in my opinion, as long as Waller stays healthy, because that offense needs weapons, man. Bad.
Yeah, well, now it's a matter of what they're going to do for that wide receiver spot. Signing Sterling Shepard doesn't help. Signing Isaiah Hodgins doesn't help.
Well, I think that does help. He's a player.
Yeah.
He's a player.
I mean, you're going to say we're going to go into the league next year with Isaiah Hodgins, Wan'Dale Robinson, and Sterling Shepard? No, thank you. I mean, you tell me that Darren Waller's in there. Okay, I might have gotten a small erection, but I need more than that.
Right. Well, that's a personal problem on your part.
I don't know. I think they got to trade somebody. I don't know about drafting.
I think they draft 1 or 2.
Agreed.
You think they draft like a round 2 wide receiver?
Nah, I think they go round 1 unless it's a case where like the 5 guys are already taken. If you're going to draft a second round talent at wide receiver, draft them in the second round and go elsewhere in the first. But I don't think that'll be the case.
You think they're going to go wide receiver first pick?
I think most likely, unless, like I said, all the guys are picked. They desperately need a couple other positions, but I think they probably go wide receiver.
That's if they can't find anything trading up until the draft.
Even if they can find something trade, they still go number.
So, I mean, they have the 25th pick,
but they need a wide receiver 1 and 2. Hodges is fine as a 3. But
so like that dude Smith guys, but he'll be around there, but he's more of like a slot receiver.
No, he'll probably be gone. The guy from Ohio State, he'll probably be gone.
I think so.
Yeah, did you just see Johnny's tweet? Fucking text. Text. I'm sorry.
So it's text. I didn't respond because I'm like, that's
fried. What?
I didn't.
What does he mean? What does he mean by that? Can we wait until the PR-DR game is over? Exactly. What sport is that?
World Baseball Classic.
This guy. PR. Well, I thought Puerto Rico, Dominican Republic, but I didn't realize it was baseball. I was like, what kind of sport is he fucking watching? I thought maybe soccer, but no, we can't wait for that. That's nonsense.
Erroneous.
Can we hold off the podcast until the PR-DR game is over. No, we're 3 Caucasian men. That's preposterous.
3 wise men.
I didn't even know it was baseball, bro.
That's
I
funny.
did not even know it was baseball. So no. Even knowing it's baseball, I'm a firm, solid no on this one.
Shut up.
How about some of these RB moves?
Danny, the World Baseball Classic. Can we hold off the podcast until the World Base? No. Is there some sort of pitch clock on this thing? Do we know when it's going to be over? It's a baseball game. No, of course we can't wait till it's over. You out of your mind?
What is your thoughts on some of these RB moves?
I like it. I think Zeke is probably waiting until the fucking season starts before he gets a deal at the rate that they're going, because the market is very saturated. No,
yeah. It's gonna be tough. You know, he's gonna be in a committee situation. You know, for sure. He's not gonna be
at best. He's gonna Zeke, man. You just sit back and count your money and eat your cereal, bro. I was a little bit surprised by that release. What about you, Dan?
I mean, maybe the money. Maybe they feel like they're
definitely
enough in Pollard, and they could just get a lesser of a backup, save themselves some money, because they're in a tough division too, as well. You know, as well as the Jets and the Giants are making some good moves.
You know, it's crazy. Speaking of Jonny, didn't he say that he'd like to see Dallas end up with Bijan?
Yeah, I don't know why.
Well, now that they released Zeke, that becomes a more realistic possibility, don't you think?
Yeah, but do they do that with the confidence that they got Pollard in?
That's a 1-year deal. They got him on the franchise tag, and it's not even very expensive because it's a running back.
Yeah, it's like $10 million for 1 year.
Yeah, so
that's a very Jerry Jones move, right or wrong.
Running back first round.
Yeah,
let me see. They don't know if they'll be able to grab him.
They pick late.
They have the 26th pick.
No,
they'd have to move up.
You think he goes before that? Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what I'm not looking at the draft order.
I'll tell you right now, because that's the number 1 RB on the board, right?
Latest mock draft I saw had 4 quarterbacks going first 4 picks.
The first 4. So Arizona trades back.
Yeah, to Seattle to 5. Seattle jumps up to 3 and takes Richardson.
And then still has Geno, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, in the same thing with the Lions, right? Like, do the Lions?
No, they took Gonzalez in this one, but yeah, there's I think they could be gone, all 4 of them in the first 5 or 6.
Right, like
are you looking at PFF, Danny?
That was actually at The Athletic.
Oh, really? Okay. PFF sounded pretty similar. I'm looking at that's what I'm looking at right now.
Stroud, Young, Richardson.
You know where what I think. Because Miles Sanders is gone, right?
What?
Sanders.
So Bijan to the Eagles.
What?
No, they just signed. The Eagles signed Rashad Penny.
Yeah. So they got Penny and Gainwell.
I don't think they could. I don't think they would draft a running back in the first round. That's not an Eagles thing to do. That's a Cowboys thing to do.
I don't think he'll be there when the Cowboys will have to move up for him.
I think it's likely they draft Slade's replacement at this point.
The cornerback, you mean?
Yeah. They'll get a pretty good one there, and they're a pretty practical team, and they're good enough to be practical by the day pick.
They have to probably get into the top 15, wouldn't you say?
Who?
Dallas.
Really?
The PFF has Dallas getting Bijan at 26.
Do they really?
I think he goes earlier, but
I think he goes earlier too. And I mean, Houston has number 2 and number 12. Maybe they push back that number 12 to somebody a little bit further back.
Houston has Dameon Pierce. They just drafted him. He's awesome.
No, I'm saying trade back their number 12.
So somebody trades up to take Bijan at 12? I don't see that happening.
I think he'll go. But I don't think anyone's trading up to 12 to get him.
No.
I think
not in today's NFL.
I think he gets drafted.
You think he gets to 26 though? Like who else can get him? And Ravens just signed somebody. You know, Chargers, Seattle, they're not Bucks, Lions, they just signed Steelers, Commanders. Commanders maybe?
Buccaneers makes sense, some sense. The Lions have a second first round pick, even though it makes more sense for them to go, defense and stuff. But
the Lions just picked up.
That would be so bad. Yeah, that would be so bad.
No, they just got what's his name David Montgomery.
I don't think anybody's gonna have to trade up to get Bijan in this draft. I think
You think he just falls and Dallas gets if he's there at 26, Dallas takes him up?
Yeah, because I'm looking at the order now.
I'm looking at the last mock draft I saw to see where they are going. I don't know where it is. I'm checking.
On what website?
This is on the Athletic.
Oh, this guy's.
Yeah, they haven't gone to the
Lions.
They haven't gone to the Lions at 18.
There you go. See that second first round pick. That's they call it, but that's a luxury pick.
That's pre David Montgomery probably.
Yes, pre-free agency.
So yeah, they got David Montgomery and DeAndre Swift right now. They're fine.
They added David Montgomery. They lost
Jamal Williams. He goes to the Saints now because of that whole Kamara situation.
Yeah, Jamal Williams was the big winner, the big fantasy winner in that one, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Tampa Bay drafts 19.
They can grab Bijan, right? What's this still? Fournette?
They could, but they have so many fucking holes.
Chargers at 21.
Well, they picked didn't they get Baker Mayfield?
No, they couldn't get a quarterback down there. They just have to fill out so many other holes in the roster. But yo, Danny, what if the Chargers did work a deal to trade Eckler and then took Bijan?
That's what I said.
That would be a nice.
He makes sense at 19. He makes sense at a couple spots.
Eckler's still young. Do you do that?
If you can get value for him, and then
like, all right. So what would you think? Like, if you had, like, what do you think, like, their ask would, what would it be to get Eckler? Because I mean, his past 2 years have been record breaking.
You start with a first, you don't get it. Try to get a second.
Yeah,
maybe a first and like a player.
No.
So who do you say? How old is he? Did you say somebody trades specifically? I didn't hear that part. It might have broke out. Or you just said the idea, no specific team target?
No, just if they were able to work out a trade, but I don't think that happens.
If you're going to trade for Eckler and you have like the 21st pick, why would you trade for Eckler when you can take Bijan Robinson and pay him?
Right.
Bijan, pay him 1/3 the amount of money. And no, he's definitely, they'll ask for a first rounder maybe for a negotiation sake, but there's no way they get one.
No.
Maybe a couple third and fourth, fifth.
Or maybe next year first.
Yo, I could see a team like Cincinnati trading a late second round pick for Austin Eckler because he would be amazing in their offense. Like a team that's ready to win the Super Bowl.
Yes, they could score every.
Yes, like I could see them saying, you know what, fuck a late second. We're the Bengals. We're so good every year. We'll take Austin Eckler off your hands, and we'll be
another
amazing.
team that could use a good running back is the Bills.
Sammy Perrine's gone, but you know what? No, right.
Mixon.
Eckler's pretty much mixing without the gunplay, so you replace him there. He's safer. You don't have to worry about him getting suspended or getting arrested or anything dumb. At least not so far. Perrine's gone. He dropped like another guy in like the 7th round, and boom.
I mean, the Bills. Would you think the Bills would take Bijan if he was there?
I mean,
because the Dallas Cowboys are 26th and Bills are 27th.
I mean,
so like if they're sitting there 27 and this dude's there,
he would be good.
But Cook is good though.
Yeah, that's
they
what I'm
already
saying.
have a young guy.
And then Buffalo, for some reason, seems to not know how to use a running back anyway. So I'd rather him not go there.
Yeah, and they already have Cook, and he's gonna be their. I would assume their lead guy next year, but it'll be close.
It would be interesting, but yeah, he did have a couple of bursts. He's flashed at the end of the season,
Yeah, they just did.
Yeah, he's pretty good.
They didn't know who to give the ball to. Just give it to everybody.
Yo, I just don't think John's gonna jump on this thing. I don't know what the story is here. Like, wait, I'm gonna look on my phone to see what the World Baseball Classic fucking.
Yeah, I was about to just say we have to figure out what's going on there.
Hey, it's gonna take like a half hour to find it. That's how many places Classic stores.
Why are there so many baseball games that got canceled tonight, Danny?
The weather in Florida is bad. You gotta remember they're all playing the same. They're all playing Florida.
Seattle Athletics was canceled. White Sox Giants. So it must be some sort of fire.
Then it rained in Arizona or fire in Arizona.
No, it's California, bro. San Francisco, Oakland, San Francisco, LA, and San Diego all canceled.
Spring training now, they're all in Arizona.
Oh, I forgot about that. Shit, that's right. Okay. Breaking news. The World Baseball Classic does not come up on the CBS Sports app.
What do you mean? It's taking forever to find the score.
Okay, I got it right here. It's on FS1.
Okay.
The score is 5-2 in the middle of the 8th inning. Puerto Rico is winning. Okay.
Okay.
That's his country, bro.
But they have already batted, so so it's the bottom of the 8th and then the 9th inning are coming up.
All right, so we would see him in an hour.
I think that here's what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to keep this tab up, and I'm just going to continually check in on the game, and we're going to find out what's going on with John. So John, right now, as we're speaking, is just a complete jerk, just a complete idiot.
Solid.
So here we all are. Danny was prompt. Anthony, I'll have you know, our guest this evening was very prompt. As soon as I signed in at 9:30, he was right there ready to rock and roll. So this man was ready to go. Jonny texted us. It was 9:08. Can we hold off on the podcast? Bottom of the 8th. 5-2 Puerto Rico. Got some Spanish guy coming up to bat. This is the Always Sunday football podcast. I'm Dave, joined as I am every week by Anthony. What's up, Anthony?
What's going on?
Welcome. And wait, Danny? What's going on, Danny? Is that the top of Danny's head? There he is. Welcome, Dan M, to the podcast. Danny Mac, the champ. Glad to have you here. Very excited. And our guy, pretty boy Jonny.
We'll be here in about an hour and a half.
Hour and a half. Ball one inside. And so what we're going to do is we're going to take a look at we'll talk back at some of the rookies as it pertains to the draft. And then we're going to look back at the free agency, the free agent frenzy that took place over the last couple of days, legal tampering and whatnot. It's the 15th of March, which means it's the beginning of the new league year. Players are allowed to agree to contracts and so on and so forth. So let's get right down to business. As I mentioned, bottom of the 8th, Puerto Rico leading 5-2. 1-1 count on Rafael Devers.
Let's get to brass tacks here.
Underwood Jr. pitching.
Is this cricket?
So, it's the World Baseball Classic, whatever that is. And so, fellas, let's just start right here at the top of the rookie draft. Let's talk about some quarterbacks, okay? And then we'll just kind of roll from there. Daniel, you're our guest. You're our guest, and I would like to have you go first. If we're talking about Bryce Young, C.J. Stroud, Anthony Richardson, and then we'll throw Will Levis in there because he deserves to be in the conversation. How do you have them ranked?
Young, Stroud, Levis, Richardson.
So even after the freakish testing, you still have Richardson fourth.
It's closer, but yeah.
Okay, gotcha. Anthony, where are you at?
See, now don't judge me, but I just think that the Panthers take Richardson first. I just got this feeling.
Order they go in, that's the order that I would have them slide.
Roger that. Yeah, Anthony, how do you rank them?
I mean, I have to move. I'm kind of caught between. I think talent-wise and all around ready. Young's a guy, but the question mark is he's the shortest of the bunch. He's under 6 foot, so that's always for me. That does take an effect. There's only very few that were able to be very successful.
He's essentially exactly Kyler Murray's size.
He's Kyler Murray with an adult personality.
Fair.
He's the adult version of Kyler Murray. So the adult version of Kyler Murray.
I just kind of have the same way Danny Mac ranks it. I just feel like, dude, you cannot. I'm just gonna, because your boy with the gambler. I'm gonna put Richardson and then the same order: Young, Stroud, and then Levis.
Yeah, I go Young, Stroud, Richardson, and then Levis last.
That was 3 and 4. You can kind of flop for me. It's like tiers of 2, and then the next for me. Yeah. The 2 more proven guys and the 2 project guys.
Agreed.
Proven guys first.
Yeah, and putting it the way you did, Kyler Murray with an adult personality, to me makes him the first pick in the draft, because Kyler Murray was the first pick in the draft and he's been successful in the NFL, even though he's kind of an idiot. and he doesn't practice and all that other stuff. He's had bad coaching also to his, if you wanted to be a Kyler defender, that's probably the worst thing you can say, or one of the best things I should say you can say.
But they're both true though.
What's that?
He's a child and he has bad coaching.
Correct. But I would say, yeah, they're both true, but good coaching might be able to help him get to be an adult. You know what I mean? Sure. So it's hopefully that, that's what he gets in the next chapter. But yeah,
let me throw a question at you then. So you guys ranked your quarterbacks, and you guys are pretty much similar, at least for the first three. So you take Mike Gamble out, right? You say Richards is the fourth guy off the board, right?
Sure.
So we know that Young's going to go to the Panthers.
Yes.
So do you think it goes in your order, or so then do you think Texans come and grab Stroud, and then Colts grab him at? Do you think that's that order?
I think
somebody comes up and grabs that Cardinals spot.
I think CJ Stroud goes 1, Young goes 2 to Houston. I would personally have it flipped, but I think Stroud goes 1, Young goes 2. I think Richardson either goes 4, although 4 I think would be Levis, but I think a team trades up and takes Richardson at 3. But Carolina could take Richardson. I think they're going to take Stroud, but they could take Richardson.
I think that Danny, I think I might have read something that agrees with you that the Panthers really like CJ Stroud.
I think it's a GM versus the coach thing, but I think it's Stroud's just a better choice.
Fun fact about Stroud. First Big Ten since '95, Kerry Collins, that's going to be drafted in the top 10.
Yeah, I guess I can believe that, because usually it's an Ohio State quarterback that everybody knows is going to stink. But yeah, no, I think Stroud could end up being the number 1 pick, and then Young could go 2. And I think they could both be pretty successful.
So you think it's very likely that somebody trades up to grab the Cardinals spot because the Colts are next?
I don't know about very likely, because if the Cardinals pick, they're not picking a quarterback.
Sure. But what if you want the guy that you don't want to have the choice after the Colts, you want to have the choice before?
That's why it's only just kind of likely. I think it's a 50-50 shot. Maybe they will, maybe they won't, but I wouldn't say that it's very likely, unless there's somebody that just comes out and completely jizzes on one of the 2 other guys. I gotta have Anthony Richardson. I know that, because the Colts are gonna draft a guy that needs to play this year. I don't know if that's Anthony Richardson, but I could be wrong about that. I don't know.
So they're going to get ultimately the 3rd quarterback off the board, right? But who? So after them, who else needs it, right? Seahawks. You think the Seahawks would go for 1?
Seahawks just signed Geno.
That's my point, right? So the Lions are in question because they're next. Because do they even with the Goff? And then the Raiders. Now,
that's where I would love to see Anthony Richardson land, because he doesn't have to play right away. He can develop.
Oh, on that team would be nice.
The Seahawks moving up to take him at 3.
Say that again.
The mock draft I saw, the Seattle jumping from 5 to 3 to take Richardson.
Yeah, was that before they made the deal?
Yeah, that was pre-free agency, but Geno was pre-free agency.
Geno was already probably signed at that time. That's interesting, because that's another team where you can sit a guy behind Geno, because Geno's fine, but he's not gonna you're not like, oh, he's our franchise guy. So if you had a chance to get the franchise guy, much like a Goff, you just you set the guy
right, and then the next person, the Raiders, they just got their guy, right? So they're not gonna go, and then it's the Falcons, and they need one.
That makes me laugh when people are every single year some team is we've got Jimmy G, we're gonna be fine. Why does this happen to us every year, Danny?
I don't know.
I mean,
they went for it. Are they going to go? I don't know. Are they going to draft the quarterback after doing that?
No, because I think all 4 will be gone.
Agreed.
Otherwise, I think they would.
Yeah.
Jimmy G happy from taking one of the last 2 guys because they're projects. I just don't think they'll be there.
All right. So where do you think Levis lands?
4.
Which team? Where do you think grabs him?
Colts said 4.
Wow. So you do think somebody comes up in Arizona? I like that.
Or,
I want to see that spice.
Or they're both there at 4, and the Colts draft Levis over Richardson. True, Danny?
Yeah, I think Richardson goes 3. I think if he's there, they could take him. but I think let me put it this way. I think all 4 go in the top 5 picks.
Agreed.
Seattle, Arizona, one of those picks is getting a quarterback. I don't think Arizona is going to draft a quarterback, but
well, I would love to see that. I mean, trading's exciting. It makes it like trading back makes things juicier, makes everybody else get on their toes. Okay, all right, you know, they just traded. You know.
Well, what about the Falcons? The Falcons could jump up from.
My
from
point
8.
exactly. Like the Falcons need to. Like the Titans are up there. The Titans didn't do anything, right?
Wait,
They
where
just
are the Titans?
They're like
Titans
11.
That would take a lot of juice to get up into the top 4. From 8, I could see it, but it would take a lot of juice. But from 11,
they just drafted with the kid last year.
Who did? Oh my God! You have to throw that out. You got to throw that out. Malik Willis. Yeah. You got to throw that out, dude. You can't even. Nope. Deleted.
Have to throw out every quarterback taken.
That's not a thing.
He is Jamarcus Russell without the number 1 overall. He was so bad.
See, I mean, I could still like Tennessee's 11. I could still see think about it. So let's just say first 2 picks are QB. Arizona stays there, picks a pick, right? And then number 4 is QB. So you still have one of those QBs left. Seattle doesn't do anything. Excuse me. The Lions are now at question.
The thing is, Seattle could pick right there. Could pick that quarterback.
But I don't know. Maybe there's somebody that they feel they got Geno for 2 years. Maybe they could just worry about something else now.
No, because if you got Geno for 2 years, that's where you pick Richardson. Because I don't think Levis gets past the Colts, but Richardson could get past the Colts in my imagination. Because Richardson's the project. If you don't have to start him, and you can play him behind Geno and just let him develop, and hopefully whatever magic worked on Geno rubs off on him, then you guys are sitting pretty. Seattle will be a fucking bully. Real quick. So let's talk about.
It is interesting.
Let's talk about Bijan.
We
talked about the Dallas Cowboys. If Dallas doesn't get him, who would you
order? Tampa, San Diego. I'm sure.
Do you think Washington does it?
I mean, I guess it's not the craziest thing in the world
because it goes Washington, like a team that could use one is 16. Then it's Tampa could make that trigger. And then everybody else really doesn't need to pull that marker until the Cowboys would, and then the Bills. Maybe the Eagles at 30.
I think Chargers at 21 makes sense if Eckler gets moved, which I think he will.
That would be so sexy. People would be going crazy for that.
Then you pretty much turn Eckler for Robinson, get him cheaper, and use that other whatever picks you got to build. You know,
I'm not sure who is making that move for Eckler, but I guess we'll wait and see. The receivers, Anthony, who's your favorite of the receiver class?
I don't want to say his name.
It's Jackson Smith and Jigba.
Say Njigba.
Danny, who's your favorite?
Him or Addison?
Did Addison run? Because in Jigba's 40 time, I don't see. Where is Addison's 40 time? Because wasn't he supposed to be super fast or something? There he goes.
Fast. It was super fast.
His 4.49 40-yard dash, 34-inch vertical, and 10-foot 2-inch broad jump are all average to below average figures. That's not that great.
He's a good slot receiver.
He fell down to 26. PFF's 26.
Doesn't mean he's going to fall to the back of the first, maybe, or beginning of the second.
Or he'll just outperform his combine stats.
Well, where I mean, if you're really sitting in the 20s, that's probably where you're going to go. No, you're not going to grab him.
It has Smith and Nigby going 14 to the Patriots, and Addison going 15 to the Packers. And then the receiver taken is Quentin Johnson at 22 to the Ravens, and then Zay Flowers 25 to the Giants.
I mean, I could see for sure a Giants if there's a one of their guys at that state.
I think the Giants should seriously consider drafting a wide receiver for sure with their first pick.
I think they have to draft one and still go get one. In my opinion,
they have to draft one.
You know, yeah. But I have faith in them. You know, last year was a good draft by the new regime. They have now 10 picks after that trade for Waller.
And the other got a 5th and a 7th.
And I'm looking at this right now. Is their first pick the 25th pick in the draft?
Yes.
Yeah.
That's tough, but hopefully they can move up.
1, 2. They have 1 first, 1 second, 1 third, 1 fourth, 2 fifths, 1 6th, and 3 7ths, I think.
Danny, who do you think the Giants will take in the first round? What position?
Most likely wide receiver from the Zay Flowers, Quentin Johnson, high age grouping, because I think Addison and Smith Nigmi will be gone. If one of those 3 are gone, then I could see them taking either a cornerback or like the top if there's a first round interior offensive line available.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. If they don't,
but I don't think one of those receivers will be there. So I think they probably go.
Anything to add on the Giants pick, Danny? Anthony? Sorry.
No, I was gonna say if they, I agree. If they don't get a receiver via trade or up before the draft, I think they draft it first position. But if they end up getting some wide receiver 1 before then I think they definitely grab hopefully a lineman they were looking at that's a first rounder still there.
Fair. Middle of the 9th inning, still 5-2. Puerto Rico over the Dominican Republic in the World Baseball Classic. Due up the bottom of the 9th, the 7, 8, and 9 hitters for the Dominican Republic. Last licks, guys. It's getting late early out here.
Watch a good extra innings and John calls at 1 in the morning.
So let's just do it. We're going to do a rundown. Okay, first things first. Danny.
Yes.
Who was your favorite either a trade and or signing so far in this free agency, early preseason, early beginning of the season period? Like which player you're like, okay, this has a lot of appeal to me because of fantasy implications or real life implications or whatever the case may be. Who's jumping off the page for you?
Real life, obviously it's Darren Waller, but I won't count that because that's just too easy because I'm a Giants fan. So non-Giant, I mean, it has to be Aaron Rodgers.
Okay.
And once he gets there.
Yeah, officially unofficial. He told his buddy Pat McAfee and millions of other people that he's intending to play for the Jets, but the deal has to get done. Anthony, what about you? What player's jumping off the page for you?
Well, now I got to try and switch it up now because I was going to say the same thing. I think the great move by the Giants, right, for that was super value.
Agree.
But and then I was going to say the Lazard move for them just going all in because of the Rodgers. It's not official, but it's official in a sense. So, but I mean, so a couple of these RB moves, is interesting now. I guess you could say the Will Jamal and
that was going to be the one I was going to bring up was Jamal Williams because he's going to have tons of fantasy value next year.
Right, especially because Kamara's what the hell was going on there. So yeah, he was a touchdown beast, and then now Montgomery over there with Swift was kind of cool. How it was a little jumping over there.
That's going to suck for both of them, don't you think? Both of them are going to be trash for fantasy. How are you going to be able to play each one of those guys, Montgomery and Swift?
I mean, I don't know. Ask the league champion who had both of those guys on his team.
This is not for fantasy football. I'm talking about for real life football. How they both going to eat? Danny, what do you think about that?
Clearly, pretty much becomes Jamal Williams.
I think he's a little bit. I don't know.
Different.
Say what?
He's not as talented as DeAndre Swift.
No,
but he's healthier for the most part. Yeah, I think he's going to play for the most, but they might use him a little differently. But in terms of usage, I think he'll pretty much, and usage rate, I think he'll pretty much be Jamal Williams.
So you don't think it hurts or helps Swift's value? It doesn't go up or down much for you?
Go up or down a little. I don't know which way yet. I mean, I could see it going down a little bit, but I think essentially it's Montgomery just kind of slides in and Jones slides out. And I think at the end, Swift's going to be affected by whether or not he's healthy.
Anthony, Miles, which fit do you like better? Miles Sanders for the Carolina Panthers or Rashad Penny for the Philadelphia Eagles? Try to be unbiased. Danny, which one do you like better?
I like Sanders for the Panthers.
Danny?
Probably Sanders.
Yeah, see, I like Penny for the Eagles, but I think they're just going to still have that like multiple back rotation.
Yeah, multiple back. They're still not going to get off that if it's worked.
Hubbard some work, and I just think Sanders is better than Penny.
Here's one that's just interesting as far as what's going to happen. James Robinson.
Robinson is a New England Patriot now. He's
Right.
going to take over the Damian Harris role because Damian Harris is a free agent.
Oh, for Harris is a free agent.
Yeah, so he'll just slot in there. But I think I'm hoping because Robinson clearly had nothing left for the Jets, so I hope this means that it's going to be Ramondre season.
I said he'll cut in a little bit and he'll get some work, but like you said, he's more Damian Harris. He's not like taking Stevenson's job.
Yeah, well, what I'm hoping is that Steven gets even more of the job, and it's more of like a 70-30 to 80-20 type of deal because he's that much better. You know,
for sure.
Robinson really didn't have a lot left. Alexander Madison staying with the Vikings. Mahomes restructures his contract because they're trying to free up some money, maybe to get Odell Beckham. Danny? Do you think Odell Beckham has anything left for real life and or fantasy?
A little bit, but like a bench filler, I wouldn't want to like maybe starting on my team unless a bunch of people got hurt.
Do you think he could be valuable for like a championship type team, like for example, a Kansas City or a New York Jets?
A team like that, yes.
Anthony, where do you fall?
No, I agree. He's only going to be his most valuable state would be a winning team, a top QB. You know, being able to produce. You know, he won't be able to produce like he did and be the only guy.
Good.
When he was on the Giants, he was like the only guy, and he was the shit, right? But then he got hurt multiple times, and now I don't think he has to be on a team where he's not the only guy, and he could then. When he was on the Rams, right, like Super Bowl, he had a great fucking Super Bowl until he got hurt. He had a great playoff run, so he has to be on there with other pieces.
Chiefs make a lot of sense.
That was the one that made the most
sense.
But I
Chiefs,
think the
Bills, Dallas.
I mean, by the time Garrett Wilson, Elijah Moore, Alan Lazard, Randall Cobb, Kenny Galladay, that's 35.
Get rid of Randall Cobb.
Yeah, see, Randall Cobb, one of the biggest moves that hasn't been made that I think is big impact is them not signing Randall Cobb, because that would signal to me that they're being silly, and that's because he's not better than Elijah Moore. Whether Elijah Moore had that or the other, personal problems last year, and he was beefing with this one or that one, he's flat out a better player than Randall Cobb at this point in his career.
I think Randall Cobb's there for like emotional support.
Well, look, I could see you bringing him in so that he helps teach the offense, but Rodgers is going to insist that he's on the field.
Yeah, no. You went there. I think they did the right move. You went there. You got Lazard. Okay.
Agree.
You got that. You got the coach.
Agree.
All right. Listen, we want you. We made it clear. Let's come over here.
Two outs. Bottom of the ninth. We got a 3-1 count on Teoscar Hernandez. He's facing down Edwin Diaz. Okay, the right-hander. That's strike 2. Now he's down. It's 2 balls and 2 strikes with 2 outs in the bottom of the 9th inning. Dominican Republic. They're down to their last licks here. It's a nail biter. It's a nail biter. The Eagles look like they're trying to get the band back together. A lot of 1-year deals because they're like in it with the salary cap, but they got the center back for a year, Fletcher Cox back for a year. Obviously,
Barry.
They're trying to.
Yeah, but they've also lost so much. I think Slay's gone. They lost the offensive coordinator, defensive coordinator. They've lost some important pieces.
Danny,
the linebacker left.
Mm-hmm.
Defensive tackle for the Niners. He got $20 million a year. Slay, obviously leaving. Bradbury staying.
It looks like
lost a lot.
Pro Bowl quarterback might be on the move. I don't know if you guys saw this one, but the offer sheet was put out for Tyler Huntley. Now the Ravens have to either match it, or Tyler Huntley might end up playing for a different team. He was a Pro Bowler this year, guys. I don't know if you knew that. He threw I think 2 touchdowns and 3 interceptions, and he was in the fucking Pro Bowl.
It's my guy.
Yep. Yeah. Miami, they're going for it. Miami's got their 2 running backs back. I think they made some moves in free agency. It looks like the AFC East is going to be like crazy this year between the Bills, the Dolphins, and potentially even the Jets. Yeah,
no, dude, the Jets were were a tough team with a tough situation, and now I think it's going to be a big difference this year. Same thing like with the Giants in their division. I think it's just Dallas is still going to be good, Eagles is still going to be good, Giants are building upward, and then Washington's kind of, I don't know what's happening there.
I will tell you what's happening there. They just signed Jacoby Brissett at quarterback, so that's actual stability. To be honest with you, he played fine for the Cleveland Browns last year. He was with Jacoby Brissett. Amari Cooper was the fucking wide receiver like 8 or something.
That's because Amari Cooper is John's boy.
No, because he stunk when Watson came back, and he's very spotty, very hot or cold. But he had an incredible run of games with Brissett at quarterback. That's some quarterback stability. I think that's actually a savvy move by the Commanders there. Honestly,
get a little cheap, consistent.
Yeah, inexpensive. It was a 1 year, $10 million contract, but in a pinch, if you run into problems, he's your guy. I think that's a savvy move. Zeke released. Okay, so I don't know who made the offer sheet, but Huntley out there. Oh, Juju is a Patriot. Are we excited?
Juju's a Patriot, yeah.
Danny, you excited about that?
Yeah, it's New England.
Yeah.
I mean, like, he's legit now their wide receiver 1.
Well, that's the thing is New England's projected to draft somebody, right?
Bengals finalizing deal with top offensive tackle Orlando Brown Jr.
Nice. Good for them.
I want to see close to $25 million a year. Good for them. Yeah, that's a big signing. He was the top free agent in the class. If you go by, that.
Yeah, and they badly needed to do something with that line. God damn.
Yeah, big time. He good for them. Bears signed PJ Walker, so now Justin Fields has competition.
Yeah, you better watch his back. Watch your back, punk. PJ Walker's coming to town.
Jed signed Solomon Thomas.
Yeah, I think that's a good sign. Look, it was a 1-year deal. He's a good player. The Jets, I mean, they're trying to go for it. That's another one.
Absolutely.
The Jets. The thing is, I was telling Anthony, I was telling John, I'm telling everybody. I told you, Danny. I just want it would be so much fun. When was the last time both New York teams were fantasy relevant and fantasy fun? I'd love to be able to own Jets and Giants on fantasy teams and feel good about it.
Was it the year that the Jets had Decker and Marshall and Fitzpatrick?
Decker for the Jets was dope that 1 year where he scored all those touchdowns, but where the Giants, it's just one of those wacky things where we just don't get to have nice things.
I think it would be great is it'd be Giants, Jets, and the Bills. It'd be all New York football being good. That'd be great.
And the Eagles.
Fuck those guys. It'd be great. It'd be great for New York,
Well, yeah,
listen. I think the it's like 90-10 to me that the Jets, getting Aaron Rodgers, there's like a 10% some sort of crazy chance that they don't. Just to have it. And with that, I mean, what's their pick? They have the 12th or 13th overall pick. I'm sure they have a few boxes. So if they make a good move with that one and have a good draft, and they've made some cap space, they've made some deals, and that they're going to be, and especially, I don't know, the schedule pending, I'm sure, because their division is tough, but those other games that will be key important ones and who they are is going to be a benefactor, but they'll be a fucking problem.
And that's going to do it. It's a final, guys. Puerto Rico 5, the Dominican Republic 2. Teoscar Hernandez called out on strikes, and the Dominican Republic falls to the Puerto Rico. And John still isn't here, by the way. Just so you know. We've literally done the entire
hour
show. We've done the entire show.
It's 10:30.
It's 10:30. Daniel was prompt. Once again, I want to point out, Daniel, very prompt. The top of Danny's head was here before Anthony was. And the rest of Danny showed up right on time. It was great. So now let me ask you this. Are there any rookies in your sort of reading, Danny? We'll do you first on this one because I know you're into The Athletic deeply, and that's one website that I don't really read much. What rookies that we didn't talk about have popped? Like, what names have popped for you where you're like, this might be a guy? Give me like one or two, maybe.
Robinson, obviously. Outside of the top 5 receivers, there's a couple other, like the kid from SMU. There's Rice. There's a kid from Wake Forest. A couple of the tight ends. Kid from Utah State is really good as a receiver. Probably the tight ends, Mayer too, the other tight end from Notre Dame. He's going to be really good.
Who did you say? Oregon State was the first guy?
No. For wide receiver?
No, tight end.
No, no, Utah State.
Utah
State.
Kincaid. Dalton Kincaid. Utah.
Yes.
Yeah, I've heard that. Yeah, Kincaid.
Sorry, I stayed corrected.
Okay. Utah. Yeah, no worries. Danny, if you had gotten his name right, I would have been a little more confused. Yeah, no.
Measurables.
That's the thing. He didn't test at the combine, but he's 6'4", 240, and it seems like we're waiting on his pro day for all this business.
Yeah, apparently very fast. He's very athletic, stretch the field.
I'll tell you, the second kid, Michael Mayer from Notre Dame, you mentioned, he ran a 4.7, so that's not really gonna wow anybody. So this kid Kincaid might be solid.
He could be a big time guy who could step in right away because he's not much of a blocker.
Nice, Anthony. You got anybody that we didn't talk about by any chance?
No, Kincaid was the only one that I heard come up a few times, but Danny Mac, I think, named all the drafting players.
Well, it's the thing. I know that Danny is into college football, and he's definitely into the draft. Much like I am. Hey, Danny. So the draft is roughly a month from now, if I'm not mistaken. If it's in mid-April, maybe even late April. So what we'll try to do is one best ball draft together before the NFL rookie draft. And then one after. Yeah, we're gonna do one like as a show. I'll share my screen and we'll just all rock with a draft. But we have to obviously orchestrate it between all of us because as you
April 27th.
As you can see, John can't even show up for the goddamn show.
Can you make sure ER and DR aren't playing that night?
Oh my goodness, dude! I gotta check all sorts of sport schedules at that point because now you're talking April, late April. The actual baseball season's coming up. This guy's like good. Lord knows which game he's going to need to watch next.
Cardinals Marlins play that night.
But yeah, Danny, thank you for coming on. Do appreciate it.
You could have done the whole podcast as you and Johnny. You probably could have nailed it.
And with a final score of 5-2, Puerto Rico defeats the Dominican Republic in the World Baseball Classic. We have joining us right now the best bench warmer in Puerto Rico history. It's John Ortiz. What's up, John? Welcome to the show.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
John, who's your favorite rookie in the NFL right now coming in? Who's the favorite NFL rookie?
Hands down?
No. Hands up.
I can't do hands up.
I didn't think you'd be able to. That's fair. What was your favorite free agent move so far?
Free agent move?
Yep. All right, thanks, John, for signing in. Danny, we really appreciate you coming by. We appreciate you taking the time. Thanks for being on the show. Anthony, always a pleasure. Thank you for joining us. And I will see you guys next show where it's always Sunday. Thanks for